Okay, holster update. I've got, well, basically all the dye on this is dried. Went ahead, dyed the belt. The dye is dried also on the belt keeper, and it's been glued in preparation for stitching. I'm going to let the glue dry for a day or so, and then I'm going to go ahead and punch those holes through. Obviously, I can't use my my chisel type punch. I'm going to have to go through and punch them with my awl, which is why you want your stitching awl to be really pointy and sharp. On the holster, I have this piece glued on, and one thing, when you go to glue something on to a piece of leather like this, you're going to have to mark where it goes. Don't just put it on top in its final position and mark around it. That'll leave a line that could be visible once it's glued on. So what I do is I move it back. I'll put it in place and move it back about a 1/16 of an inch or so, and then mark it. And that'll be where my glue line will stop. And once I glue it on, it'll be over that mark, so you'll never see it. Also, the retainer strap is also glued in. And the next step after this dries is to punch all those stitch holes and stitch that on. Punch these stitch holes and stitch that on. And once that's stitched on, go ahead and do a final finish on the inside of this piece here. And then do the same thing. Glue and stitch. You know, glue, punch the stitch holes, and stitch it. You gotta get your sequence of assembly steps done in the right sequence, because nothing is more of a bummer than having to pull something apart to do something that you should have done previous to putting that part together. Anyway, this here is basically the holster. There's your retention strap. It'll go over like that, and like I said, there's plenty of strap here to pop it off that snap, and that's how it's going to sit. Once that stitching is on, it's going to look really nice. Here's a black holster with the kind of thread I'm going to use for the stitching. That'll be a really nice accent on it. This is my personal everyday carry concealed carry holster. I put my snubby in it. Let's see what else. That about covers it. All I gotta do is let this glue dry, and then I can commence to poking the holes in. Now, after this is folded over here, I'm going to have to form this a little bit to fit the belt properly. It's wide enough, but what I'll need to do is wet it and form it around the belt, because this is going to be the designated belt for this holster, because they're going to be a set, and I want to get a precise fit on that. So I'm going to let that dry for a little while, and then we'll get back to it, and I'll show you where it's at next time. See you then.